Welcome in everybody to Wyatt Zang's college football show again. And if you're listening to this video and you didn't listen to what happened earlier, I started the show, episode number 45. We were going strong and everything was going great, man. Everything was going perfect. Show was going great. Got through the first segment. Someone commented in the live chat and said, "Your mic is muted." No idea how that happened. So we couldn't figure it out. Had to stop the stream, restarted my computer, got it up. We're all connected. Mic is in. Everything is good to go. Comment in the live chat if you can hear me. Please let me know. If you can hear me right now, let me know, because mic issues suck and we don't want that. But we're here. I guess we will restart the show. I mean, we don't want to have you guys listen to a full segment of me saying stuff and not being able to, you to hear me. So we are live again. That is a coincidence, but hey, we're live nevertheless. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Guess we don't need to waste any time. Brendan Sorsby situation at Texas Tech is getting a little weird. Gambling addiction, according to Texas Tech and according to many sources, he has been going through some things the last few years, but they have finally found them out. Brendan Sorsby is the gambling. Do we say addiction? I hate to use that word. Brendan Sorsby has some issues with gambling. Over 10,000 wagers via mobile apps. I don't know like what apps or anything, but that doesn't matter. The fact is, he wagered over 10,000 wagers, which is kind of absurd, honestly. The rumor is he's been doing this since 2022, redshirt year at Indiana. Now, here's my take on this. Number one, the first thing I always think about when something like this happens, I always look at the team, see how the team is impacted. How is Texas Tech impact? Number one, you just lost your starting quarterback. So, number one, that's pretty big to lose your starting quarterback. Number two, you're going to have to reset. You just got through spring ball, and now you're going to have to get into a new system or a new quarterback and a new rhythm because your quarterback you just worked through all spring and late winter. You're resetting, man. You are starting with a full new quarterback. So Will Hammond looks to step in as of now. The question, we don't know if Brendan Sorsby is going to be able to come back. That is still very much unknown. But the thing we do know is it's uncertain, but we know that Will Hammond is there. He was the former starter in 2025. He actually was going to start in 2025. He did, not for very long because then he got hurt. Baron Morton came in, and it was off to the races there. Baron Morton obviously got to the playoff, got him a first-round bye. So Will Hammond lost the job. Will Hammond now has a chance to get it back. But back to Brendan Sorsby. He has been checked into a public treatment program via Texas Tech April 27th, 2026. So that's something big, is he's officially going through rehab. So we'll see what, makes up from that. But I got to say, you look at the teams that were going to go after Brendan Sorsby, teams like LSU, teams like, I even think Miami was in there a little bit, Alabama maybe. But those teams were looking at, or not Alabama, LSU, Miami, and Penn State, I think, was looking at them a little bit. Not very much because then they got Rocco backed. But there's certain teams that are probably like, hey, you know what? We lucked out. Because Texas Tech's the one that paid him $4 million and he's not going to be able to play this year. So here's the problem is the NCAA, this is quote, the NCAA is looking into activity which can result in loss of eligibility. Guy's a senior. So he's not coming back. Like, there's people saying, oh, well, he can come back next year. There is no next year. Well, a lot of times that's the case with players. There is no next year. This is it, man. Do I think he's going to come back? I think he'll come back. Like, I think we'll see him again in 2025 or 2026. But it's close. It's tough to predict right now because it's April, almost March. It'll be March, actually, maybe tomorrow. It's going to be tough. I don't know. When I look at it in this whole situation, we're heading into May. When I look at this whole situation, I see some things here. Number one, how does this affect college football? How does this affect Texas Tech? We already went over a little bit of how this affects Texas Tech. But in terms of college football, I think this has a big impact on college football. Like, a lot of people don't realize this has a bigger impact on college football than people think. Like, you really dive into what's the situation here. And he's gone. Let's say that Brendan Sorsby doesn't come back. What's Texas Tech going to look like? Actually, let's ask this question first. Are players going to learn from this? That's the biggest question, because we've seen this happen in college football before. It's been a while since we've seen this, but we've seen it happen. There's no doubt about that. So the question then becomes, how does this affect college football as a whole? I'm hoping players see this. And if there's a player out there that does gambling and no one knows about it, quit, man. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to gamble away your career, basically, because that's what you're doing. It sounds so cliche, but you're gambling away your career gambling. Like, it sounds so cliche, but it's so true. Like, he's gambling with his career here. He's got to repair. Number one, he's going to have to repair relationships with NFL teams. That's the biggest thing, is when you do something of this magnitude, the NFL sees it. The NFL's not going to see this. This isn't going unnoticed. He's going to have to repair relationships in the NFL. He's also going to have to repair his Texas Tech relationships. So there's multiple components that go into this. Number one, what's the, like, how is this going to affect Texas Tech as a team? We went over that. They're going to have to change rhythm. Okay, that's the thing. It's going to affect Texas Tech. Number two, recapping here a little bit, it's going to affect college football, hopefully in a positive way. Number three, it's going to gamble his career away because of the NFL team thing. So that's my take on this Brendan Sorsby Texas Tech thing. I've talked about it twice technically, because doing the live show, the first segment had to stop the live show and restart it because of technical issues. But yeah, that's my take on this whole Texas Tech situation. It's interesting. We're going to have, all ears to the ground, listening and seeing what goes on there, because this is big. If Texas Tech can get it back, that's big. If they don't, that's also big. So we're going to have to keep our eye all on that. So that's the whole Texas Tech situation in a nutshell, basically. Take a drink of water real quick. I guess it's not water. Next, I wanted to talk about this new contract extension for Kalen DeBoer. So, Kalen DeBoer has I'm trying to think of how I want to word this. So, he's reached a new contract extension. There we go. Kalen DeBoer has reached a new contract extension with Alabama. What's the take on this? What's the reaction? What's the feel? All that stuff. Well, the extension is 7 years with an average of $12.5 million per year. That's insane. Don't you think that that's a little insane? Number one, because not only is it $7 million that we're talking about here on the line, he's also becoming the highest paid, one of the highest paid head coaches. Does he seem like one of the highest paid head coaches? Does he seem like he's done enough to be one of the highest paid head coaches? I don't personally think so. So this is kind of interesting in more ways than one. This is very interesting. I look at Kalen DeBoer and I look at what he's done at Alabama. He hasn't done anything, I think, to warrant a 7-year extension, because what happens if he totally flops this year? And there's a chance of that happening. Let's be honest here. There's a chance of it just not going right this year, and it just kind of going down. There's a chance of that happening. What happens if that happens? Like, I'm about to pull up Alabama's current record. What happens if Alabama wants to fire him? Guess what? You're now paying a approximate, I don't even know, 7 times 12. You're paying over $50 million. You're paying, is it almost 90? I can't do math right now. I'm not, above $94 million or $84 million. You're paying around $90 million if you want to buy him out. That's going to be $90 million if I'm doing my math right. I'm on air, so math can be a little bad. That's a lot of money. And the fact that they're doing it at this current time, it doesn't make any sense. It also includes a $10 million buyout if he leaves before January. Okay, here we go. Reading the quote, we have changed everything all. It includes a $10 million buyout if he leaves before January 31st, 2027. Key information on my notes that I didn't even read. So it includes a $10 million buyout if he leaves before January 31st of next year. Saves it all. So this year's saved. If he leaves, $10 million, you're done. I just don't. It makes sense a little bit now that I see that, but even so, I just don't think that he warrants this. I don't think Kalen DeBoer has done quite enough to warrant this extension. I just is that just me? I don't know. I just feel like when you look at Alabama and you look at Kalen DeBoer, what he's done there, he hasn't done anything to write home about. He's now the third highest paid SEC head coach behind Kirby and Kiffin. I'm just not a fan of this move. I'm just not a fan because I think that this could impact a lot of things. There's a lot more to this than people think. Like, it's not just, okay, you're just dishing. In this age in college football, you're not just going to dish out money. So when I look at this, I'm actually not a fan of this at all because there's too much unknown about Alabama moving forward to justify this. Like, do you feel I'm at a little bit? I just feel like this is kind of too much. Alabama's taking it too fast. I get you have confidence in them, but if something goes wrong, you still got to pay him $10 million. So I don't know. I'm just not a fan of this. I would have waited a year, but hey, it's Alabama's decision, and Alabama wants to keep him around 100% guaranteed. So hey, they got him for 7 years now. So Alabama fans, let me know in the comments how you feel about this whole situation. Next, we're going to get into the college football playoff expansion news, which is interesting. We're going to get into that in a second. All right. Let's not waste too much time. I do want to say thank you guys if you're watching live, which a few of you are. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. We had to adjust the live show because the mic was not working. That is on me. That's on technical. We have to get on technical about that, which ends up being me because I produce the show. I not only write the show, I produce the show, and I am the host of the show. So everything falls back on me. So that was my mistake. All right, well, let's get into this college football playoff stuff. College football playoff looks to be expanding in 2026, or I should say 2027, but it's going to happen in 2026. Or will it? Well, they got to make a decision by, I believe, December 1st of 2026 is when they have to make the final decision on the playoff. The question is, are we going to stay at 12? Are we going to go to 14? Are we going to go to 16? Are we going to go to 24? Where are we going? Where's this playoff thing going? We kind of need to know. Well, the Big Ten is advocating for 2014 playoff. The SEC is advocating for a 16-team playoff. So we're between two playoff formats. It's a lot to unpack there, if you know what I mean. So I look at this and I see two different opinions. I'm stuck between this. I'm stuck between two thoughts here. Number one, what if we didn't expand the playoff at all? Like, what if we stayed at 4 teams? And we had a 4-team era now. How would that change college football? I think about that almost every day. Almost every day I think about how would that impact college football? And then I think about what would happen if we had a 2014 playoff? Because that's both ends of the spectrum. That's the least amount of teams that we could have compared to the most amount of teams we could have. Unless you're like some people and you want 64. I think about both those things. And the key updates as of April is the top seed. Here's an update. I wanted to talk about this. This is big. Is the top seed for the upcoming season will select their bowl game location. I feel like this is not the news I was expecting. What I was expecting was they were going to adjust it and only have bowl games in the semifinals, and the national championship was going to be national championship. I thought that they were going to have most of the games on home campus. Turns out they're going to just have them on bowl games, but now you can pick where the bowl game's going to be. So it saves everything. It's every problem we had with the playoff locations of games is fixed, right? No. Who cares if they could pick the bowl location? Whether you want to play in the Rose Bowl or the Peach Bowl. Doesn't matter. Okay, so that doesn't really do anything for me. The question is, what do I think will happen? Are we going to have a 16? Are we going to have a 14? Are we going to have 24? What do I think is going to happen? We're going to stay at 12. I think we're going to head towards a 16-team playoff format era, whether I like it or not. And I don't like it. I was not an expansionist. I will admit 12 teams is pretty fun. it has, in terms of covering the sport, it has put more emphasis on the end of the year. So I will give it that. It has improved the sport. But 16 is not going to do any favors. 12 is perfect. We do not need to adjust. The playoff is not the highlight of the college football season for me. A lot of people, it's the end of the year playoff that is their highlight of the college football season. It is not for me. It is not, and I can tell you exactly why. Because you're looking at B-roll right now. B-roll footage of just college football teams. That is the highlight of college football for me. Right there. Home campus, college football games, night games, day games, whatever. That right there, that spectacle is college football to me. Not what's on the bottom of the screen where it says 16 or 2014 college football playoff coming soon. No. That's not what I love about college football. What I love about college football is what was on the screen. The games, the Saturday morning games, the Saturday evening games, Saturday night games, the Friday night games. That is what I love about college football. Imagine high school football. Imagine if they're like, you know what? We're going to play high school football games in NFL stadiums. That'd be sick, right? But it would take away from the feel of the college football game or the high school game. Don't you think? Don't you think if it would change the aspect of the game? Would you rather watch a high school game in a high school atmosphere? Or would you rather watch a high school game in a just regular old NFL field or NFL stadium where it's half full and it just doesn't feel the same, right? That's the playoff versus the season for me. I get more excited about the regular season games than I do the playoff because number one, when we go to bowl locations, it kind of takes the college football out of college football a little bit. If you're witnessing, if you're watching on TV, you don't really notice a difference. Which I watch on TV a lot. I've only ever been to one college football game in my life. Hopefully we can change that. But I have to say, for people that go to games, everyone says that it's so much better than the bowl game atmospheres. And I admit it is. It's so much better. So this has never been my highlight of the season for me. So whether or not we go to 10 teams, or whether or not we go to 12 teams, stay at 12, go to 14, 20, 24, 64, whatever it is, I'm not going to be a fan of it unless you stay right where we're at. Because where we're at in college football is perfectly fine. Don't adjust it just because we want more teams and more access to the playoff. That's not the highlight of the season. So that's my take on the college football playoff news, expansion, update, potentially coming. Take a drink real quick. Appreciate everyone that's watching live again, especially everything that's kind of been going on with the stream, with the live show stream. So I appreciate you guys for sticking with me here. All right, let's define some success. Defining success for these college football teams, starting off with LSU. What does success look like for LSU? Well, success for LSU, in my opinion, is it's a few different things. Success is, I have it listed as 9-3 because I'm torn on this. Because 9-3 is pretty lofty because it's a new head coaching staff. But like looking at this schedule, there's 4 tough games, man. That's 4 tough games. So 8-4, 9-3 is success for me for LSU. I have it listed as 9-3. I think if they're just there at the end of the year, they don't have to be in the playoff. But if they're a playoff contender at the end of the year, I think I'm fine with that. I think that's success for me. So looking at LSU, what's the expectations? What's defining success? Defining success for me is the things I just listed. It's, being a playoff contender. It's, being there at the end of the year. They had a number 1 portal class. Lane Kiffin's the new head coach. There's a lot of things that are looking up for LSU. But one of the things that I'm a little torn on just expectations. Because expectations don't always meet reality. And reality is there's a new head coach. There's new head coaching. So it might look in all the world that you got this awesome guy that's going to get you to the playoff. I think it's going to take a year. So in terms of success for LSU in 2026, I'm going to define success as just being there at the end of the year, in the top 25, just being there. And I think that's a successful season. Then you build on that. The next year you contend for the playoff. Just build on that. So I think that's success for LSU. What about Penn State? What's success for Penn State? Well, I think success for Penn State is going to be some sort of 9-3, 10-2. And the reason I have it above LSU is because of their schedule. Their schedule is pretty easy. Their two toughest games is USC and Michigan. Like, let's be honest, that's not very tough. So I have them listed as 10-2, but I have what is success? I have nine wins. 9 wins is success for me. I think that they will win 10 games, but I'm going to list 9 wins as a successful season. New set of expectations there. James Franklin's out. Matt Campbell's in. Fresh blood, fresh coaching staff. Everything's fresh there. I think if you get 9 wins, that'd be a successful season. All right, next up is Oregon. What is a successful season for Oregon? That's not the question. The question is, can Dan Lanning break through? Because I think that's what everyone wants to know. Can Dan Lanning break through? It's time for Dan Lanning to have playoff success. Wouldn't you say? I think it's time. It's officially time for playoff success. What is success? Well, I think being a Big Ten championship contender would be success. Some sort of playoff success would also factor into that as well. But I would say if you're a Big Ten championship contender and you're there at the end of the year and you're, in the playoff, fighting for a semifinal, fighting for a championship, game appearance, that's success. I think if Oregon makes the Final Four, which they did last year, but if Oregon is in the Big Ten championship game, is in the Final Four, I think that's success. Now, I think Oregon fans would say, national championship, but I hate to predict success as a national championship. I'm going to do that for one team here. The next team I'm going to predict, but I would say Oregon is be a top 3 team in the college football at the end of the year, and that's success for Oregon. All right, what about Alabama? What's success for Alabama? Well, I think Alabama, they're a tough team to define success. It's a tough team to figure out. But I would say with the new DeBoer extension and all this going on, the questions at quarterback, I think success is 10 wins. I think if they're in the SEC contention at the end of the year, I'm not saying they have to be in the SEC championship game, but if they're in contention, I think that also is success. Make a playoff game, maybe win a playoff game. I think that would be success. So give me 10 wins for Alabama as success. What about Georgia? What would success be for Georgia? Well, I think success for Georgia would, I hate to say it, but playoff success isn't enough anymore. Like, Kirby's really, he's really dialed up. He's really, I'm trying to think of the word I'm trying to use here. He's really up I don't even know what the word is I'm trying to use. He's up the standard. That's what it is. He's up the standard at Georgia. And I think it's totally warranted to think that way. Because the standard has been, upped. Because of him. Like, it's not because of something else that he did. Like, it's because of what he's done. He's won 2 national championships while he's been there. So I think that success is an SEC championship game appearance and a championship game contention. Contend for the national championship. I think that's success. Winning 2 playoff games isn't success for Georgia anymore. So, Kirby's raised the standards, and he's changed the standards at Georgia because of what he's done. So it's not like, oh, great. People have these standards for me now that I got to meet that are national championship standards. It's because of what you've done. You've had success at Georgia, so that's why the standards are raised because of you, which is a good thing. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. That's a great thing that you've made your mark on Georgia and you've raised the standards. So that's my take on defining success for these college football teams in 2026. All right, one last segment, shorter show. I felt like it was going to be longer, but shorter show. Again, I want to emphasize I appreciate everyone watching. As we dive into this next segment. Lincoln Riley. What's the feel on Lincoln Riley right now? Well, I would say this is his last chance at USC. That's a tough statement, but I think that it's his last chance at USC. I'm trying to figure out what success is for them. And to be honest with you, I don't know. There's a lot of questions there. Now, Jade Mayava returns a quarterback, so that's nice. Top draft losses are Makai Lemon and Jacoby Lane. Those are tough losses to the draft. They got a wide receiver 1 competition going on right now with Tanuk Hines and Zacharias Williams. Hines is the early favorite. So there's questions, but there's answers. Here's my thing with USC and Lincoln Riley. They had the number 1 2026 recruiting class. So that helps Lincoln Riley's case a lot. But it can also hurt his case. Because if he doesn't have success this year or years to come, and he is the number 1 ranked recruiting class, don't you think that'd be an issue if you can't win with the number 1 ranked recruiting class? Now, I would say defense keeps improving, so that looks promising. Linebacker Desmond Steffens is under immense pressure this year because of the loss of Kamari Ramsey. So he's kind of taken over the defense a little bit. And I'm going to be honest with you, there's a lot of pressure on him. And there's a lot of pressure on this defense in general because they got to get it done. Man, they got to get it done in 2026. They have home games versus Ohio State, Oregon, and Washington. They don't play Notre Dame this year. It's a shame, but that's the reality. Lincoln Riley said that USC's championship window is open. That's what Hugh Freeze also said. And we saw what happened to Hugh Freeze. He's not the coach at the team he said that at anymore. He's not the coach at Auburn anymore. So we saw how that worked out. Lincoln Riley, how's that going to work out for him? I don't know, man. I'm really torn on this because I look at Lincoln Riley and I look at what he's done, and he hasn't done anything special. Like, he hasn't done anything to write home about. He was, 9-4 in 2025, 7-6 in 2024, 8-5. There goes my light in 2023. And in 2022, he was 11-3. So he kind of has gone down every year. He hasn't touched what he did in his first year yet. So for Lincoln Riley, I would say just have some success. Contend for the playoffs. I think if he makes the playoffs, his job is safe. If he pulls off an 8-4, it's going to be some uncomfortable conversations going around. They'll probably give him another year, but that'll be full hot seat at that point. So that's my Lincoln Riley take. It's controversial. Everyone has their own takes on Lincoln Riley, but mine is just have success and you'll be fine. So that's my take on Lincoln Riley. If he has success, he'll be fine in 2025 or 2026. All right. That is also the show. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, share the show, get down in the comments. We will see you guys back here Sunday night for another show. I don't think the show is going to be live because I'm going to be busy all day Saturday, all day Sunday doing stuff. So I'm actually going to probably pre-record the show or get it to you Monday live. One of those two. I don't know which one, but it's either going to be live to you Monday or it's going to be live to you. It's either going to be live to you Monday or it's going to be live to you on, as I said, Sunday night. Pre-recorded. So yeah, we'll see you guys back here Sunday or Monday. Hope you guys have a great start to your week. See you guys back here on the weekend. See you guys then. God bless.